What's up? What's up? I've been having some tech issues, but I think I am at long last ready to go. All right. So KTTA looks like the one here. Look like it's gonna be the one. Time 25. There's 5 minutes to go, and the watch list. Let's see. ENLV looks okay, actually. Actually looks all right. Check, check. What 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 did the mighty say? Is the mighty having some issues? He might be. Uh, Overlapping views on Discord. Okay, hold up, hold up. Overlapping views. Hopefully that looks good. Does that look good? Let me know. Man, it seems like there's just I need to like reconfigure some of my setup. It's kind of depsy right now. Anyhow, it's KTTA in 3 minutes. ENLV, I'll keep an eye on. Custom 24. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right. All good already. So ENLV, KTTA, those are my top two. Keeping it simple and looking to follow up with a lot of what we've been working on last week. Slow and steady. Slow and steady to win the race. Am I on the right screen, by the way, on YouTube? Let me double check on that. Okay, I think we're good to go. We got a big 1 minute chart. I gotta set up. I gotta like fix my layout, but I'm good to go. It's 2 minutes. We'll just dial it in. So KTTA. 44 cents is pretty cheap. 49 for the midpoint. Pre-market highs at 42. One day KTTA. Daily chart curling up off of a sell-off, which is fine. All right, looking to be vocal, looking to call out what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for, and looking to be disciplined. There's 30 seconds to go. It's another beautiful day, another chance to improve upon what we've been working on and to let the discipline compound. So we do want to keep in mind to be careful on pullbacks, especially as it relates to our sizing, scaling in, and being in at support, right? Having tighter stops as well. Other than that, we do want to make sure that we stay laser focused throughout the entirety of the session here that we're trading and pay attention for all possible setups. walking down the ladder. Bro, why do I feel so out of sorts? And the other view is covering the right. Yeah, yeah, don't worry about that. This level 2, I'm not gonna use at all. It's kind of why it's like that. All good. I don't look at anything else. That's like below the time box right there too. So all good. It's kind of like, I guess for someone else it might be weird, but for me it's like the normal configuration. CJT hitting the scans, by the way. Ian LV. Um, CJet. CJet, maybe there's something there too. It's at 260. ENLV, the 1 minute candle to make the new high here at 64, 65. Will we see something there? As KTTA is actually selling off early. CJet from 250 to 268 definitely has range. I think I'm going to pull up CJet here on the main screen. I'll probably just trade it on one of the other accounts here. Yeah, it actually has good range. Okay, I'm going to watch CJet. I think this one is pretty promising. Highs are at 80. I'm going to throw out like, a couple shares here. It's pretty high up, but just watching just to see what it does here. I'm going to start to add and just keep watching. It has given 2 bigger candlesticks though, so I want to be careful of that. CJet, why didn't this change down here? My charting should have changed. I'll update the bottom screen here in a sec. I do want to try and use a little bit more size today as well. Something I was telling myself. So I'm long at 260 on CJet, and I'm like just watching to see if we do get a red to green here, tight stop. My charts are linked to the top. I'm not sure why the bottom screen here is still on KTTA. I'll fix that when I can. But the commentary is what's important. I'm in CJet watching for a red to green tight stop. We just had 280. Can we see 75, 80 here if this thing is going to be any good? If not, it's just bluffing me here. Big bluffer. So what will it be? Will we eventually see 270, 280. It's like the volume just died. Like it had all this range just a minute ago, and now it's like just it's like not even moving. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. I can't take my hands off the buy button, so I'm willing to add higher if the volume comes in nicely, but all right. It doesn't seem like it wants to hold up. Struggling. Oh, I see. I gotta fix my entire layout on everything on all my platforms, like even day trade dash. So when I saved it, and ENLV looks like it's curling back up here. When I saved it, I forgot to include this chart here. ENLV curling up. Bro, CJet just turned into nothingness. Like it had all this range 2 candles ago, and then now it's just simply in the slums. So highs we had 171. It's back at 161. I threw out a small order just to see what it does, but honestly, it doesn't look that promising. We'll see if it is able to hold. If it gets over 65 and can have candlesticks closing above that level. All this nonsense. What do I want to do? Let's see. I think I'll come like this. Pop out another chart. And why am I so like? Okay, it's fine. My mind is fried right now, literally. So ENLV, let's see what it does. I'm long at 162, really small size. If we start getting candlesticks to close over 165, maybe there's something here. And it's looking like right back down. There's nothing to trade here so far today. I'm red like $90. There's like nothing to trade here, is what I'm seeing. This is the slums. It's time to sit on the sidelines and not touch anything. Let me try this. Let's see if this works. And let's go to SPY. There we go. Why wasn't that working? How's the SPY looking, by the way? SPY up so far today. Not too bad, but as for the open, a little sideways. There's nothing to trade here as far as I can see. I'm going to check out the chat and scanners just to double check if there's anything else. OPENZ, like just the name of that stock alone tells me not to look at it. It's a 5-symbol stock, which we haven't seen in so long. Yeah, I can't touch this. Not yet, at least. GELS and others getting mentioned. Okay, GELS looks alright. Highs were 120. But, will we see volume here? Will this one open up, right? That's the question. And CJET, the setup was perfect, nothing. Pre-market highs are at 136. We got 124. Oh my goodness. I need to sleep more is my problem. I'm like running off of like just a couple hours sleep. INHD. This is not a restful weekend. INHD looks okay. INHD. Guys, don't forget if you're tuning in on YouTube to hit the thumbs up. So far, read like 90 bucks, kind of just not seeing a ton. Okay. All right, INHD. How's the daily chart look though? Daily chart curling up off the lows. I guess it looks okay. We got highs at 13. Although I'm looking at the setup and I'm asking myself what's a good entry here. The breakouts seem a little slow, so not leaning too much on the breakout. Candlestick got a couple of seconds. The new 5-minute candlestick is about to open up. Maybe we can see a move over time over the next couple of minutes. Can we get to 115, 120? It does seem like it could be an early trend here, early uptrend. I'm going to throw out a smaller position at 6, 7. At 106.99. Now fly to the moon for me. crawl, even if you have to crawl to the moon over the next 5-10 minutes. This market, I could tell you guys, this market right now is like a complete joke compared to what we know the market could be at its, peak, its peak of its powers. This is like, it's fine, it's cool. We just need one stock to like take over, even if the moves are taking 5-10 minutes, doesn't matter. But we need to find the stock, and right now, like, which one is the one, right? We've had CJET, we've had INHD, we've had ENLV, and even a couple others, OPENZ, and like none of them are really taking over as the big boy stock of the day. Right now, we're still seeing a bunch of scrub stocks. We need the real deal. So I'm still holding like a couple shares from 7, and we're only at 10, right? We haven't moved an inch. Now CJets wants to curl back up 10 minutes later. If it can take over as the main stock, great. If not, I'm not even gonna bother. So it needs another leg. I can pull it up. I mean, this one isn't doing anything, right? I might as well just kind of cut this trade. I'm gonna look at CJet off screen for now. If it turns into the main stock, then I'll put it over here. So we got 285, highs 288, and we just had a breakout from 77, 3-bar play, high of day 80 before. All right, I can keep, I can keep an eye. INHD. Just way too much back and forth here. CJet. Okay, watching CJet again. Maybe the second time's the charm. Do I want to attempt a breakout trade? I'll try with really small size. There's 90, 91. Jeez, look at that. So much for a breakout, 1 cent. Keeping my eyes peeled on it though. What's the time? This is gonna be close. I don't have shares, but this might be close here. Time. The candlestick is gonna close in a weird place here in 5 minutes. It's kind of iffy. Do we have what it takes for a red to green? I'd say it's not the cleanest pullback. It's bouncing so far though, which is good. I got a small position, low 70s. Can we keep holding up the VWAP support area, potential support? I mean, you know, the pullback could work here, but it does seem it's hard to tell if this is gonna be the stock of the day. You know, like is this the big boy stock that's gonna actually go up to 350? If we get a next leg, then I'll be more confident on the pullback. For now, I'm just like not gonna bother with any size. Need to make sure this thing isn't just trickeries setting me up. So I only got 300 shares, like really small size. One minute candle to make the new high, right back down from 77 to 69 right there, like within 1 second. Can we keep fighting here to push over 80? Guys, I'm going to be on vacation from Wednesday to Tuesday of the next week. The Mighty will be here Wednesday. I think Thursday might be. Is Thursday Thanksgiving? What's the date? I gotta check the dates to see. All right, the 1 minute candlestick is making a new high again, 77. CChat. What is it gonna be this time? Can we see 80, 85, 90? Come on. Prove yourself to the short sellers here. Surprise the short sellers with an epic move to 290 and beyond. Can CJet create water out of wine or wine out of water, however the saying is? I sold my position scratch right there, which probably shouldn't have done, but it's back down again the second time from 77, the 1 minute candle making a new high. I think I might be out a little early, a little too soon, because it's still kind of holding here. INHD to 110. Well, selling my position was going to be a good idea. Look at that. Back down. INHD back up to 114 off the red to green. It's just nothing. I don't know. Nothing's holding up. I'm trying to say. So INHD is now made a new high. Are we going to be able to hold up? I mean, it is a good move, right? From 95 cents to 118. It's pretty good. And the red to green below the VWAP level. Always a tough one to stick around for. If it can sustain this move and the next red candle doesn't go back down to $1, then it could be good here. I'll give it a chance with small size, but only small size. On the pullback, it's up pretty good. Let's see. Maybe it keeps going though, right? We'll see. This is a 5-minute pullback. The VWAP is around 104. Got to be careful here. But I did take a starter, a couple hundred shares. Not looking to take any size just yet. I still need some confirmation, man. Once something holds up the first good pullback, it can keep going. Because the day is telling me to be more cautious than anything. INHD. The 1-minute candle just made the new high right there. Will we see a V-shaped red to green? Back to the highs. If this pullback works out, then I feel much better about being more aggressive on the stock moving forward. So I'm going to make 5 cents right there. Just about. 110 to 115. On my paper hands, making me sell a little early because we could keep going. All right. A setup worked out there. We had a nice red to green from 95 to 118. The pullback, the small pullback held up in the range. Maybe this one is on to something here. Now, when I do size up in the next setup, right, this is where the stock needs to pull through for good old RT. For good old RT. And CJet, I'm not going back to that one, man. That stock can kick rocks. CJet is for the street, for Wall Street. They can have it, man. They can have that one. They can take it to the gallows. I'm wondering if the breakout is worth it. It could be. It could be. Damn. See, this is where I got to be careful. That was nothing there. Time, candlesticks. They look okay, I'd say. Slow and steady, just waiting patiently for a good opportunity. Seems so far it's holding high so far. You know, let's see how it continues to do here. Don't forget if you're watching on YouTube to hit the thumbs up. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. INHD watching this one here. Does it have what it takes for 120? The 1 minute candle just made the new high. Well, we slowly but surely push up there to 18 and then 20. There's 15. There's 15. Oh. 18, 22. Okay, all right. We can move after all. Well, I only had 600 shares there at 15, but you know, there's some movements, right? Maybe if we're lucky, it halts up to 29 here. Now the short sellers can feel some pressure at long last. They can feel a squeeze. And the bulls can finally sing songs of freedom. We had 24. The halt is now 31 if it's to surprise us here with an extremely good push. $24. Do I hear 25? 26. 28. It is treating us nicely. I'm long at 18, but I need to take more size in the next setup. There's a seller here at 125, 100,000 size. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I just want to be patient here. At least we're back to flat with the small trades there. Now looking to size if we can see some following setups that are good, A+ setups. Big Steve, I'm gonna go Save size here. Can I get to 30,000+ shares like a madman? Slow and steady though. 30K size is a joke, but maybe we could get something close to that actually, if the setup is good enough. Our bigger time frame is slightly red here, so I do have a starter, but looking to take more if we can see something. what you know, we'll see. Sometimes we might not even get like a good pullback, but is that it? Maybe that was it. Our 5 minute candlestick is turning green from red, so it could end up just being like a tighter area here. Mother lover. Bro, I switched to the small hotkey and it drops. Not even making that up, Steve. I bought twice, but only 600 shares. Well, small size pastor here today. Was the time? Waiting for 30. Waiting for 30. What is it with me and not getting to take size? Like, it's just sad at this point. It's twice in a row. Show me 30. See, I could have had triple the size if I didn't switch my hotkey to the other one. What happened is that it just dropped down so fast within that like 23 to 18 in a split second. We should get a new high here. I mean, everything looks good. But is the stock going to follow through with what it's saying on the chart? Or is it bluffing? Do not bluff us here, but instead give us the real move. Bro, next time, watch, bro. For sure this time, I'm going to just slam size. Like, forget it. I'm just going to slam 10,000 shares at least, and then watch myself fly. Fly to the moon. I'm holding this position for like 3 minutes now, you know? Just the complete opposite of being in and out so quickly all the time. Making the adjustments slowly and steadily. The halt level is all the way 38. So, you know, here's 27. Do I want to consider adding higher? Maybe. That's the way how Ross will sometimes do it. $24, $25. Let's make sure this thing doesn't collapse by epic proportions here. It might collapse. That was like a false breakout. Are we going to drop down to 15, 13, 12? What's it going to be? I'm up a whopping 200 bucks in the stock thanks to the small size. Okay. That was close. It didn't flush down. That was pretty close though. Not making a new high, would have thought that might have break down a little bit, but I'm gonna stick to this one. Sticking to INHD. We at least got some green here, so I'm not in on this one, this setup. Although it might keep going. Ay, ay, ay. I got a little too worried that it was gonna flush out, so I didn't buy back. Didn't throw out the starter. The halt up is at 40 in case it keeps going. And of course, the best move, I don't have no shears. 0 shears. Shit, it's halting up. Look at that. Yeah, I got too worried on that dip thinking it was going to take, flush out. No size. No shears really at all. Steve, sadly, this halt is not going to go up or down. It's just going to be like normal sideways slow stuff. It could surprise us, but my hopes are not anywhere. It's going to turn out to be a perfect double bottom rather than a flush out red candle. See, there's so much opportunities to like make something. If my bias wasn't so strong, I'm already talking about trying to take size. Maybe I could have been in with 5,000 shares, making 10, 15 cents on this green candle, right? That's the difference. That's that simple. Boom, plus 750, plus 500 bucks, and you're already looking okay. Maybe it keeps going here, maybe it does something else. INHD. Resumption is in 3 minutes, 24 seconds. We're green on the day. 100 bucks. Red to green, which is good. SF, when I said that, when I said that phrase right there, I did think about that in my head, about how funny that sounds to the audience. Some people might think this guy doesn't know what the heck he's gonna, the heck he's talking about, right? I'm saying the stock might keep going, or it might do something else, but the reality is that nobody knows what it'll do. Will this go to $2? Is 140 going to be high of day before it sells off all the way? we have to use our best discretion, right? So for those of you in the audience who are like newer traders listening in, nobody knows like anything that's going to happen in terms of, the end result, but we can use our educated decision making ability as we gain more data from the move to put ourselves in the best possible situation to capitalize. So in terms of what I expect to happen, normally I'd say dip and rip. Can we see, can we open up higher, give a pullback, retest the highs, or, greater than that? It might not move it might not be volatile. It might be slow and steady still. So, you got to keep that in mind too. And be careful about being too aggressive in one place, I'd say, because it could surprise us with how big the dip is. Because we went from 20 to 40, really and truly, in like a minute. So I don't want to get caught being too aggressive too high. But at the same time, adding too much could be, problematic. So you got to manage the risk very carefully. We have 50 seconds. But massive improvements in our hold time, the last week and a half. We're holding way longer compared to the quick in and outs. So some good news there. We got 25 seconds watching at the resumption. Taking 33. It could go lower. If it does, I wouldn't be surprised. But watching. I only took 2,000 at 43 or 33 rather. Watching at the next setup, unless it just goes straight through 50 45 here. Oh, maybe it does. There's 48. And I only took 2,000 because I was prepared to add lower, right? Like I'm gonna add it like at 30, 29, 28, and go up to more size, but it held up. It's actually a pretty decent move here. 56 false halt. 56 false halt. Now it is extended here. It's moving with more pace, which is good. I'm holding 3 shares from 34. 33 average. It seems like it might need a pullback, but the halt was at 61. It was pretty close to that halt up there. We're seeing a red candle on the 5. Although we're still in the incline. Does it have what it takes to continue without red candles? Holy smokes. Alright. It's like stronger than I'm thinking now. Well, at least the short sellers are feeling some pressure, some pain, some much needed pain. That pullback was very tight considering the move, right? We pulled back from 60 to like 48 or 47. The hot level's 2 cents above where we are now, and we're kind of right here. Will it get halted up again? So 3 solid days of trading here, but we definitely need more size. You know, that's like the only thing really missing is a big boy size. Big Steve, if we took the 30K position right now, we'd be up 10K, brother. We'd have been up 10K on the day with Save size. It's hard to say what it's doing here. I mean, we're like up so high, you know. It's possible we could hold up a tight pullback, but it's not really budging. Like we're not really seeing any new lows so far. It's like just really tight. Not touching it on the way down. Or I must have made at least like 50 cents on this stock. I'm up $300 tomorrow for sure. I mean, I don't know if it's done. If it's not done and there's another setup, I'm gonna take it easy. But tomorrow for sure, we need size. We will need size. Size will become mandatory. What's interesting is that I actually started the day with size, right? But when on CJet, but then when it got so like terrible, right? Like everything was just selling off. Like man, size is the last thing I want to use. Even 15K size, Big Steve could have done the trick. I'm watching it here just to see how it does. It's a good bounce so far for the people buying the panic flush there. Although a more risky setup, I'd say. Man, so far the day trade dash charts have been really nice. I will say. I'm so used to Thinkorswim, and like using this, it feels like I haven't missed a beep, you know. And then unlike Thinkorswim, it's like not laggy. There were like a few instances where like the charts like froze, but it seems like no matter what platform you use, and when I say it froze for like like a second or something, but Thinkorswim the charts would like freeze every day all the time, so it seems more clean. The stock is still pretty bullish, of course, if we zoom out in the context, the larger context. It might just keep going here, is how it's looking. Let's see what it does. I gotta be careful though. Oh my god. Well, that was a good size loss. So much for that red to green. Took the 1 minute candle to make the new high 51, out at 44. Not a good trade there. It's right back down. So waiting again for the next setup. My stop was 49, but the moment it got to 49, it just teleported like 7 cents extra. Those are the trades that are always a little bit more tough because your risk was increased with slippage. Ross finished up 291. It chops me out to come back up. Definitely just gonna keep watching. It seems like we're still in this consolidation here, which is fine. It might take some time to get out of it. The stock could definitely keep going. It just, we just have to see what it does. I don't want to get into the mindset of it's too extended because we're consolidating and holding consolidations. If I don't start making millions by tomorrow, bro, I think we may have cracked the codes at long last. Bro, size is the only thing that I just need to put in is a monstrous size and that's it. Oh, might be failing. Oh, well, you gotta watch out with that. That for that right there with the monstrous size, right? That red candle right there. In at 55 out of 51 on that last dip. Oh. That was hard to trust, man. It looks like it'll halt up. Oh, you son of a gun. Why every time I have shares, it doesn't do this? But then the moment I get chopped out, then I don't have no shares. It just rips up. Come on. It's not personal. That's not true. We've had some good trades, but these last two bigger moves, man. Playing games with me here. No. There's no way this opens up lower. Unless there's a secondary offering, this should not open up anything lower. That would be ludicrous. Hold on. Let me check the news. Check. Let's check to see if there's an offering. That's the only way with this such. If this bullish, this is one of the most bullish charts we could say we ever seen. If this opens up 20 cents lower, nothing makes any sense here. I would hope it doesn't resume. Like, let's see. See now, SF. If I had gotten size and I was holding up into the halt, then I would have been saying the one halt I'm holding into, resuming lower. All right. Okay. INHD. Yeah, saying 44, which is pretty strange here. News. No. I'm not holding. I missed the move up. I feel like, last week, like the issue I had last week is we had 2 days where despite holding longer, like the stocks just were just doing their own thing, which I gotta be very careful of not overdoing it on those days. But the only thing that's missing on these days is just size. Like not being up at least 2K with the amount of sense I was making is quite ridiculous, really. So we gotta just, it's not anything I haven't done before. Just gotta just throw out the orders, really, and just get used to seeing the bigger numbers again. What I'm thinking is if it does resume lower, okay, it's showing higher. Like, is it worth the insta buy? I'm thinking. It's showing 145. It might be a 10-minute halt down. Is it worth the insta buy, Or is that, I mean, I'm definitely not green enough to be taking any size. So, being that it's already been a small size day and we're like in a place where the risk is even higher because of the volatility, for me right now, taking size is not going to happen. We would have already needed to take size and be up nicely to then say, hey, we're going to risk $500 or whatever. So, I'm just going to keep it small, just kind of see what it does. The resumption is moving higher now, which makes more sense. It's showing sideways now here in the next couple of minutes, couple seconds, 40 seconds. So that's the risk, right? If I'm to size up on a dip and rip here and it's a losing trade, then it feels like such a great day of profits and progress was wasted on one area, which is why for me the days need to build. Like it has to compound, for to make sense. So watching here at 166. Here we go. 5 seconds. I didn't really get the size I wanted there. Or the fill rather, I wanted. Scratch trades. It definitely seems more for quicker scalps here, right? Which is ironic. $70 for highs, 77 to halt up. It's moving so fast now. We haven't really had a move, right? We're sideways, really. If we look at that, we're like sideways. Oh, so that turned into so much back in the days trading there. Like, look at how this thing is moving now. It's like now it's a whole new stock. Ay, 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 ay. It's like it crossed over a threshold and it's just doing its own thing now with the volume and the price action. It's in a new stratosphere. I think I want to see more of a reaction one way or the other to gauge what it wants to do. We were halted up at 66. We're currently at 69. We still haven't really moved anywhere. It's still somewhat sideways. Ah, man, just unbelievable. Plus At highs on the stock, I was up 350. I'm now up 184 on the ticker. So kind of in a place where if the next setup isn't clean, I'm like looking to walk away pretty much. It's a great day. We just have to use size. That's about it. Process over profits. But now with the size, the profits will be following the process. It'll have no choice. I can see it clear as day. It's clear as day. Taking a starter. Although the 5 minute candlestick definitely could drop down some more like that. There's 51. And I am in high. High like the sky. Actually, I don't know. I think this could be backside, so I want to be very careful here. I'm not looking to take size really. Just a couple hundred shares. And if this setup is cooked, then I'm out. Lights out. Once again, on Wednesday, I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be here till the next week of, I think Tuesday of the next week or Wednesday of the next week. There's a holiday and a half day or something like that in between. You guys can check the market calendar. But the mighty will be in attendance, so you guys won't miss a beat. As you guys know, the mighty is one of the best, right? Calm, cool, collected traders here in the community, in the world, really. The pastor, the mighty, and the rest of the team dialing it in. The halt is at 49, by the way. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take my small green and get the hell out of here. Oh, man, what a day. What a day. Ironically, on CJET, the one that I had size, I lost 150. INHD with the small size 170. And we're green 60 in the other account. So it's like a $80 green day, which is not anything much, but as mentioned, is the process that matters here. The profits will follow. We know what we need to do. So very pleased with the day. Just got to keep building. And if we were to use size, definitely would have been up over 1,000 or somewhere there. And I mean like 3-4K size, right? And like all the trades with actual size of like going up to 10-15K in trades, it's exponential. So at that point, you're up like 4, 5, 8,000, depending on the efficiency. Because you can lose a lot if you get caught with size, of course. It did bounce there at the lows at 49, halt. What got me out of that trade is the halt down being that close, right? It's like 1 or 2 cents down. I think I'll walk. It's like looking at everything, whether I'm using size or no size. It's like this thing is already given the cleanest move. Like trading it here. I think there's just more risk because of how fast it's going up and down now compared to what the stock was. If it's gonna move like this, which is like more back in the days for the quicker scalps, then it should have been moving like this all day. But this is like a clear change in the trend, which could even in itself mean backside, right? It's hard to say that for sure, but my point is that the risk is a little higher now. And so we've already had some good trading. I think it's time to just walk away. Um, if we're going to stay here the entire day, then maybe we can keep watching it. But I like to just take the green, take the first hour or two, and that's it. in the bigger time frame context, of course, the stock is still bullish. It's still up X amount of percentages, and the whole nine. But you still got to be careful with the risk. With the risk. Ah, man. I don't know what possessed me. There was a trade down at like 19 right here. I don't know what possessed me to like switch my finger to the other hotkey. Like, just kind of crazy. So it's looking like it's going to try again here, 72, which is a couple cents away for the halt up. Yeah, I don't know what possessed me to move my fingers because, you know, that trade we're in at like 18 and selling at like 36, 37. It's like there's no way, man, we didn't, get more shares there. Enough talking though, right? Tomorrow is action. Tomorrow is pace and power, sticking to the discipline, sticking to the strategy of holding longer here. And, it's time we're going to put a little bit more bite behind the buy button, an extra zero perhaps, and just take the same set of trades, right? In the like for those two red days we had last week, right? Like the bigger ones, in comparison to what I'm seeing I can do on better days like this with size, like those days are going to be relevant. So I mean, we still want to make sure we manage on those days and like, be careful not to have them be bigger red days, but we're exactly where we need to be here. The moon is in sight finally. Now the only bad thing is this nonsense trip I'm going on because I would have loved to be here to, but being 5 days back on where we need to be is fine. I guess we can't really look at it like that, anyways, right? Um, but in the next week we're gonna continue pick up where we left off, and slow and steady. I'm ready to see 5K adding to my bank account every day. 5K a day to keep the 9 to 5 away. Very doable, very possible, very likely, in fact. And our dreams will become reality once again. Because if we can see it in our mind, we can hold it in our hands. I'm out of here. Stay safe, stay green. Pastor signing out after some words of wisdom. Also, check out the links down below if you're interested in using these. Oh my gosh, it's still going. If you're using it, if you're interested in using the day trade dash charts and scanners, as well as the links for Guardian and Sage, as well, is also down in the description. Webull, I don't know. Maybe I get a Webull link. I don't know, but if not, that's fine. But I'll never just use one platform again in my life because when I did that, I got banned, and without any real reason, So right now, I'm a firm believer in using multiple platforms. That way, if one platform has an issue, and even with Schwab when it was working good, there are days where we can't trade certain stocks. There are days where despite having a margin account, we're limited to our cash balance, which is just, how are these things even like possible, So I think being a little diverse with platforms, having at least 2, 3, maybe even 4, depending on your strategies and your style of trade, is the way to go. So INHD, am I leaving too soon? Is it going to go all the way to $2? I don't know, but I can keep an eye. I'm way out of rhythm and out of whack now that I haven't been looking at it. So if I come back now, it'll be the FOMO. All right. So shutting it down. Ah. I knew he was red. Look, I'm reading the YouTube comments here. Look at here, listen to this fool, right? Bro, I should just ban you from the chat here. Like, come on, man. I knew he was red, not showing the P&L. Did you listen to anything I said throughout this whole live stream? You know, there's some people who, sadly, they may never turn the corner because of just foolishness like that, right? Like, this is a person who ignored the entire process of everything we just discussed today to jump to try and say he is red. That's why he didn't show the P&L. Bro, if you're lost in the sauce, if you're lost in the fog or in the woods, that's on you, brother. That is on you. Don't you know that I'm the most transparent trader in the world? All right. Don't forget it. Right. Where's that meme? In fact, we can't post memes to YouTube. We can only post memes to the chat room. And you know who can see everything that I'm showing? The chat room. So if you want to see everything and all my extra screens, you can feel free to join the chat room. If not, try not to say anything reckless on here, all right? Okay, I'm out like salt. Stay safe, stay green.